and to Newswatch. You know, it's strange. The Yes 23 campaign for The Voice said last month that stop using celebrities to push the yes vote because it wasn't working. People don't like being talked down to like that. But, you know, it seems the Yes campaign cannot resist the celebrity, because since then they've trotted out John Farnham, you remember that, for the anthem. And now Cathy Freeman, the great runner, the winner of an Olympic gold medal, who today just sold us the vibe of The Voice, as if all the Australians really, you know, they all wanted to be part of this with her. They all were with her. And when the polls actually show they're not.
From small towns to big cities, something is in the air. I know all Australians feel it too. We have the chance to be part of a moment that brings people together. I'm voting yes, and I am asking that all Australians do too.
Joining me is Sophie Ellsworth, media writer for the Australian newspaper. Sophie, will this ad work?
Andrew, I'm not so sure it will. I think people would have been more surprised if Cathy Freeman came out and said that she was opposed to The Voice. I don't think many people will be surprised that she's supporting it, and good on her. She's absolutely entitled to do that. But Andrew, I think this is one of the big problems with The Voice campaign, is that they have got big business, they've got corporates, they've got CEOs such as Alan Joyce throwing their support behind the campaign, sporting stars, musicians. I thought this was meant to be a grassroots campaign that was speaking for people who didn't have a voice. And I think this will not go down well with the Australian public, Andrew, and the polls are showing that. I think the whole campaign has got this elitism feel to it, and rolling out celebrity after celebrity, I don't think will do it any good at all, Andrew.
No, I know that the Prime Minister today was very excited by Cathy Freeman joining up. I mean, he's put a lot of effort into getting sports stars and codes on side. He told us to look at all the other sports stars saying yes. Here he is.
And we need to do more than just cheer our Indigenous athletes and our Indigenous champions. What we need to do is listen to them. And whether it's Cathy Freeman or Tamana Tahu or Jonathan Thurston or Michael Long or Eddie Betts or Greg Inglis.
You could field the whole rugby league team with all those stars, but none of them, this is my point, including Freeman today, much as I admire them, have actually explained how this voice will work, what legal powers it would have, or how it will be chosen. It's just so many questions. I mean, this is what they're relying on, isn't it? It's just, look at me, I'm a sports star, I'm for it, without actually explaining why, and that's an insult.
Andrew, I think the biggest problem with The Voice is explain it in a few words, and I think that is difficult to explain to the average Joe Blow out there who isn't watching media, who isn't reading papers every day, who hasn't got the radio on. What is it? And I think that is the biggest challenge they've got. And just rolling out these celebrities, they're not seen as the average Joe Blow. They're not resonating, I believe, with the Australian community, Andrew. I think they've gone for this whole wrong vibe with the campaign.
I think you're right. Sophie, you've broken a story about Ben Fordham of 2GB, the 2GB star. Earlier this year, he was promoting Uber with this stunt.
Well, I told you during the pandemic that I was going to get a side hustle because everyone else got a side hustle, and I said I was going to become an Uber driver. Guess what I've done this week?
Yeah, you're kidding me.
I've taken my first passenger in an Uber.
Now, I think Ben Fordham's a class act, but what is the problem with that particular segment?
I think he's an excellent broadcaster too, Andrew, but the problem with the segment is in that segment he didn't disclose that he had a commercial agreement with Uber. Now, the media regulator ACMA is investigating this. It's the disclosure issue that's the problem, Andrew. It is disclosed on 2G's AFB's website that Ben Fordham has a commercial arrangement with Uber, but it's about the disclosure to the listeners. And Andrew, this is a fallout, yet another fallout from Nine Radio, where I've been reporting the Jackie Felgate saga, the newly appointed Drive host, 12 lucrative deals. The issue with her, they were not disclosed on 3AW's website. And as a result, Andrew, 21 deals have since gone up across 4 stations for Nine Radio since I broke that story. It's shambolic. It makes Nine Radio look like they don't know what their broadcasters are signing up to. And I think the ACMA has got a lot of work to do here to find out how on earth this has been going on.
Absolutely. Sophie, I've run out of time, but I want a very quick response from you on this one because this is too juicy. The ABC journalist who named her baby Methamphetamine Rules, just associated material for a story. She said she was testing what the New South Wales Birth and Death Registry would do for a story on a show. Expected her name for her son would get knocked back. It wasn't. Strikes me as a very odd way to get material for a show.
Oh, Andrew, don't use your child as clickbait. I don't know why journalists try and insert themselves in stories time after time again. And this has obviously backfired. I think it was a silly thing to do, if I'm quite honest.
A bit disrespectful to the child, I would have thought. They're more than, as you say, clickbait. Sophie Ellsworth, thank you so much for your time.